the game. Fuck me. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Monkey in the Morning. I'm your host, the Ranting Monkey. He's Jack. Say hi, Jack.
Hi, everybody.
Jack, how you doing today?
I'm all right. How are you?
Oh, I'm exhausted, man. I'm so tired. See? Told you. Yeah, I have not had normalized sleep in the last several days, and today I had to be up during the day, which is normally when I sleep.
That's when the sky flashlights out.
We get home about 4:30, and I look at Lady Monkey. I'm like, "Do you need anything from me before I go to bed?" She's like, "No, go ahead." And so I went and laid down, and I woke up like 6 or 7 times. Woke up one time because Phoebe, for some reason, was playing on my feet.
Oh, well, feet are fun to attack. My old cat, Dobby, she used to wrap herself around my foot, and it felt like somebody grabbing your foot. So I thought I lived in a haunted house for like a year until I figured out it was her.
Twice I woke up because I had neatly taken the blankets off myself. I mean, they were like perfectly rolled up right next to me. I'm like, what? And I was freezing. Like, what the fuck? So I had to pull my blankets back on. But at least that was nice. And, I had them nicely wrapped up.
Ghost did it.
It could have been the ghost. I don't know if we've ever seen her actually move anything, but it could have been her. But yeah, so I didn't sleep very well. And then finally woke up and, of course, saw the big news over on Twitter. Did you see the big news, Jack?
Yes, I did.
Elon Musk has a poll up there. It tells me how much time is left on this thing. 4 hours left. And it says, should I step down from Twitter? I will abide by these results. And right now, 56.7 to 43.3 say he should step down from Twitter. I don't care if he steps down from Twitter, because I doubt he's gonna it's not like he's just gonna walk away and be like, all right, fuck Twitter, I guess it's left to run on its own. He'll put somebody in there that he believes should be the CEO. It's not gonna be Yoel Roth. Hopefully he does a decent job of vetting them.
Yeah.
But I mean, he's made a couple of missteps along the way. And this brings a lot of unneeded attention to him.
Yeah, his time is honestly better served getting us to Mars, and I think he knows that.
Yeah.
I mean the man's already going to have a legacy that will study like Edison and Tesla, but his time is better served elsewhere.
And it's not like he's going to just completely turn a blind eye to Twitter if something fucked up's going on. I mean, it's Elon Musk. It's his company. This isn't like you have to deal with a board of directors. You can just go, no, fuck you. You're fired. So I really don't care. I mean, I hope he sticks around for a little bit just because it's funny.
Yeah. I want him to stay, but realistically, he's too smart to be doing just some trolling and running this company. He could farm it out to somebody else and just do light oversight on it. I think that's a much better idea, but I think Twitter has been the most fun it's been in years.
Oh God, yes. Now, the one issue that does come up is he's going to have to pay somebody to be CEO, and Twitter's kind of short on cash these days.
Yeah.
So I will see what happens. I guess he's going to abide by this, but there were a couple of other tweets that are kind of interesting in there, Jack.
Oh, yeah.
At about the same time, just after he posts the poll, he says, as the saying goes, be careful what you wish for, as you might get it.
Yeah, he probably already has somebody lined up to run it anyway, or somebody in mind. By the way, I'm dropping the link to the poll if you guys want to vote.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
And then about 2 hours after that, he says this: those who want power are the ones who least deserve it.
I kind of agree with that. But
I absolutely agree with that.
Anybody says, I want to be in charge, you should probably not let them be in charge.
Yeah. Those are usually the people that are the scumbags.
Yeah.
Most people who do well with power are the kinds who don't really want it. I'm doing like in, say, like wartime, the generals and stuff who become the great men. These are the ones who that's not what they were going for.
Yeah.
just they did well at what they were doing, and they got pushed up and up and up.
Yeah,
So,
Nadarumi, you are actually 100% right. Politicians are proof that's accurate.
yep, 100%.
It especially applies to politics. If somebody wants to run like your D&D group, that's not as big of a deal as like somebody in charge of nuclear missiles or the FBI.
Now, I don't know how much else I even care about this. There's not a lot more for me to say. I mean, if he really does go by the results of this poll, you're going to have a new person running Twitter soon.
Yeah. I kind of hope it's Donald Trump.
That would be funny as shit.
Wouldn't it?
Can you imagine? Well, they probably couldn't do it right now because he's already announced for president.
Yeah.
But they could. I mean, hey, you want to withdraw your announcement for a year and come run Twitter? That'd be funny. There's lots of people he could, tap on the shoulder and be like, hey, what about me? But again, those are the people you really don't want. Thank you, Corey. New York Giants beat the Commanders. I am happy. Oh, my God. Let's just say that there's a lot of unhappy football fans out there. That final play with the Commanders, that dude was raping the receiver. There should have absolutely been a flag on that. Doesn't mean the Commanders would have tied or won, but there should have been a flag on that. God bless. A lot of people out there saying the NFL is rigged, Jack, and they don't necessarily mean rigged exactly like, say, the WWE, but more sports betting rigged. And it wouldn't be the first time we've seen a sport get involved in that kind of thing where they're playing the over under rather than win loss. And there were a couple of calls today that were really like, ooh, wow. All right.
Well, haven't they caught refs making bad calls on purpose and like people betting on it, stuff like that?
Absolutely. Nuts tells us that it's Dutton's birthday. Dutton, I'm sure you said it first, but for some reason I only see when Nuts talks. I don't know why it is. Dutton, it's your birthday. This one's for you. And a 1 and a 2. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Dutton. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Hope you have a good one. Really, really do. Now, Jack, when it comes to the Elon thing, like I said, I don't have much else to say. I think Elon's done a good job. I think he has screwed up on a couple of things. Oh, he did come out and tell us that Taylor Lorenz was suspended for previous account activity where she'd been doxing people.
Knew it.
And that it's only a temporary ban. She's not suspended forever.
Well,
so
to her, it's forever.
So she can stop her whining now. I do think it's weird that he's doing a punishment retroactive to when he even really had the platform.
Yeah, it might be some personal thing too.
It might be because she is kind of a bitch.
Yeah.
But so then there's nothing really to that either. All of the people who were sharing his, how to follow his plane, they're all going to be back on. Everybody needs to just deep breath. That's all. However, Jack, when it comes to Elon possibly stepping down, I follow Jeremy, the quartering, and I see him blowing up and having arguments with like Nick DiOrio. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? So I go over to the quartering's timeline, and he's having a rough night. He's having a very rough night with Elon stepping down.
Why?
Because he's drunk.
Oh,
you want the real answer or what he says?
Is he's drunk the answer to both?
Yeah, actually.
Fair enough.
He got out of bed, you see. He cares so much. He got out of bed and put his shirt back on. This is what he says in a video he made. Got his shirt back on so that he could make this because it's that important. And everybody needs to go out there and tell their audience to go out and vote no, because we can't do without Elon right now. It's the most important thing is keeping Elon out there. And if you don't tell your audience to go vote no, then he never wants to hear from you on free speech again. And then he said, wait, it gets better. He tells us that the only reason that yes is winning is because of Tesla bros who are just out there wanting to make either $4, $10, or $12 more on their Tesla stock. It depends on which time he says it. And that they probably even have inverted nipples.
What?
Yeah, that's what he said.
Oh, okay. That's
Look,
super weird.
If you know anything about the quartering, you know that he should never, ever make videos drunk because they never turn out well. He probably shouldn't be posting drunk either. Look, I understand him thinking, hey, Elon is important to this. All right, I get that argument. And telling people to go vote no, sure. I'm not quite sure that it's the right time for Elon to step down, but I'm also not there.
Yeah. Well, and it's not like he's going to be hands off. He uses the platform quite a bit anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like people won't see him around. He's not going out for cigarettes. He's not your stepdad. You know, let it go, people.
Daddy.
Yeah. Daddy Elon, you're my favorite. Don't break up with mommy. That's weird. Look, he's going to put somebody in charge that he trusts, at least on the surface level. And then he's going to go back to getting us to fucking Mars.
Yeah, look, I understand being upset by it, but like you just said, he's not just going to throw somebody in willy-nilly. It's not like he's going to, in the middle of San Francisco, just grab a drug addict off the street and go, all right, you get to decide everything. Although that probably would be better than the last administration there at.
Yeah, because I mean, you can't fuck it up when you're getting all wasted in the boardroom.
Yeah, so I just think people need to calm down a little bit, maybe. I feel like it's a little over the top, and that video is funny as fuck. Before he wakes up and sobers up, watch the quarterings video. I will tell you, it's 12 minutes of him. By the way, he says it's going to be a short video. It's 12 minutes of him repeating himself and occasionally throwing in stuff about Tesla bros and inverted nipples. Which,
weird.
Yeah, it really is.
It's really weird.
But I wanted to talk about this because this is the thing that I saw that made me go, what?
Real quick.
Go ahead.
Thank you, Cult of Krill. I wouldn't be surprised if Taylor was trying to contact one of Elon's minor children trying to get dirt on him. It's her MO. Yeah, nobody would be surprised by that. She's
not at all. But
Thank
according to Elon, it's stuff that was done on Twitter in the past. Quartering tweeted this out, Jack. Yes, Twitter's the public square. Losing freedom of speech in that square is more important than 9/11. What? Does that make you feel uncomfortable? It makes me feel like shit to say it, but it's also true.
I would disagree with that.
Jeremy's going to be deleting a lot of shit when he wakes up, I have a feeling.
When he wakes up or when he sobers up?
Tomato, my friend.
I disagree.
Because he's going to have to go sleep this one off.
Yeah, he's going to wake up still drunk and be like, I'm going to pick up where I left off.
More important than 9/11. Elon Musk going and hiring somebody else to do the job for him, who he will still have control over because they work for him. More important than 9/11. Jeremy, go sleep it off.
Get some help, dude.
Good God, man. You need to step away from the bottle because you make an ass of yourself a lot because of it.
Yeah, the bottle and maybe the internet for like a week.
Fuck. I don't understand. I see a lot of people who are having the same kind of reaction. Oh my God, no, relax. It's still going to be somebody. Do you trust the engineers he brought in from Tesla who are working on this and got all the child porn gone? Because that was people who worked for Elon, and Elon said, hey, go do this. That's what he's going to be doing, you know? He's going to be like, I need you to run this, and here are the rules that we have. Apply them equally. Yeah. Drunk Jeremy is Tim Pool. No, Drunk Jeremy is funnier than Tim Pool, but I get what you're saying. I get the analogy there. No, I laughed so hard, and then I had to go watch the video, Jack. And I'm not gonna bring it up. If you guys want to watch it, go watch it. But yeah, he's obviously drunk. His eyes are so red. It's like, I'm screwing up my whole week by getting up and doing this. Really? By making a video at this time of night, it's going to throw off all my videos for the day, but that's how important it is to me. You might want to try the alcohol-free beer.
Ew. Kind of pointless, isn't it?
It is, because beer tastes like ass.
Yeah.
The only reason to drink that is to get the buzz. So yeah, Elon might be stepping down. He publicly said he's going to abide by it, and it looks like, looking at this poll, Jack, you need probably just 2 million people to vote no right now with no other yes votes.
Yeah.
If I'm just kind of doing the math in my head, that last time I looked at it, I didn't pay attention when I had it on the screen a moment ago. The last time I paid attention, there were over 13 million votes on this. And when you got 56%, you're looking at what? About 7.5 million ish.
Yeah.
7 million ish to 6 million ish. Yeah, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, like Eagle said, it doesn't matter. He'll still control the company, so it's kind of a moot point. He's still going to own it.
It also, I don't know if you paid attention, he didn't give a time limit on it.
Yeah, he didn't say I'm stepping down tomorrow.
Right.
It could be like in 2 years.
He could be like, look, I got a year plan, and at the end of this year, I will step down.
Yeah. Yeah, Faithless, you're probably right. I think a lot of these polls are bot traps.
I would agree with that if he didn't say he was going to abide by the outcome.
Oh, well, yeah, like I said, though, he's probably planning on stepping away anyway.
Oh, yeah.
He's got other stuff that's more important to him. So it could be both. Why not set it up so it looks like the people are voting? He's going to abide by it because he's going to leave anyway. So, and if he leaves in 6 months, whatever.
Yeah, it doesn't mean that he's going to do it tomorrow morning.
Yeah.
Mess says he already selected a successor. I'm not shocked by that. I'm sure he has. But and yeah, Eagle, he doesn't want to control it day to day. And why would you?
Yeah. Real quick. Thank you, Keldrick. That's an exaggeration on the level of J6 being worse than 9/11. Also, monkey slabs.
Oh, god damn it. That means my notice isn't working. Sorry. Let's bring this up here. I'm so sorry about that. I hate when that shit happens. Now I gotta wait for it. Least professional monkey. Thank you, Cult of Krill, who says this could be another bot trap. And thank you, Keldrig, who says moral of the story, don't drunk post. Yeah, those are both interesting ideas. I don't know that it's a bot trap. Like I said, I think Elon wants to step down eventually anyway. Everybody is pretty much on board with that. That like his final life goal wasn't to be like, I'm just gonna run Twitter. He does still have SpaceX going on. He still does have, and Tesla's having a lot of problems right now. Their stock is way down. And when you have a whole bunch of celebrities who are coming out, the kind of people who sell EVs coming out and going, don't buy the Tesla. He's got some work he's got to go do over there as well. The man is busy. So handing it off to an underling who he trusts to run it how he says to, just kind of makes sense. And again, he can fire this guy at any point. If shit goes wrong, he finds out, there's more of the FBI shit. There's more, how do I want to say this? The rules being applied differently based on your politics. He can step right the fuck back in. So calm down, folks. I hope it wins, that no wins, so that he goes, on his own terms and not based on some stupid ass Twitter poll. But, either way, he's going to step away eventually. Have you seen the Tesla stock?
No, I haven't been paying that close of attention.
Oh my God. Let's see. Tesla stock. It is down Let's go for the year. Back in, okay, we'll go to its last peak, which was September 20th. It was trading for $308. It closed on December 16th for $150. It's been halved in just a couple of months. He's got some work to do over there. People are talking about it's cold. It's cold as shit here. Oh my God. Jack, I went outside today, which I should never do. And I took 3 breaths and my lungs went, nuh-uh, we ain't doing this. And I had to go back because it triggered a asthma attack.
Whoops.
Yeah, it was that fucking cold. So, yeah, I hate the cold. On the plus side, Jack, we actually we did a long trip today. I saw gas as low as $2.65.
Damn. Cheapest I got was $2.94.
Depending on where you were in Michigan, which we didn't go that far, it was anywhere from $2.65 up to $3.25. I don't know what Biden did, but he fixed the gas problem, you guys. He fixed it.
Still $1 too high.
Yeah, don't look for that to last very long. I expect gas prices to come roaring back when summer comes, Jack. There's no good reason that it went down so low right now. There's no good market reason why it's down that low. Retro, thank you so much. It's minus 37 in Fairbanks, Alaska. Fairbanks. Isn't AL Alaska? No, that's Alabama. Is that Alaska? Okay. I know Fairbanks is in Alaska. That's why I got a little tripped up there. Anyway, in Fairbanks, Alaska. Why do you live in Alaska? It's cold up there. And you're really close to the Russians, and you're cut off from the rest of the U.S. by the Canadians.
Ugh, surrounded by 2 communists. That's
right. Awful. Should move to the mainland. Don't question it, monkey. Just let it go. It's my nature to question things. I can't help it.
I think we should do a Crimea and just annex part of Canada that gives us access to Alaska.
Yeah, just to take their coast.
Yeah, what's Canada gonna do? Just
so since he lived in Alaska, he loved it up there. I know a lot of people who go to Alaska and they love it, and I don't understand. It gets cold up there.
I've heard it's very, very beautiful, and if you like hunting, it's a good place to go. But
Michigan is beautiful, but it's cold as shit.
Full of Michigan.
I mean, we do have the drivers and roads. Do you think those two are connected?
Yes.
See, guys, it's not that Michigan drivers are really all that bad. It's just we're usually dodging potholes, so that's how we're used to driving.
Yeah, like psychopaths.
Yeah, apparently
there's chupacabras everywhere chasing people too. So y'all have to go like 90 miles an hour over pothole roads.
Oh man, our potholes are so bad, and we were driving across them today, Jack, and it's like constantly driving across railroad tracks.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I was just up there the other day. I know when I went to the airport. Fucking hell, I hate going through Michigan.
Oh,
you should move to a better state.
It's sad because it really should be a much better state. You know, people always take their fall foliage tours of New England. Of New England. You can see all that beautiful shit right here in Michigan. Michigan really is a beautiful state. Lots of open land, lots of foliage, I guess is the word I was going to look for. Trees and stuff. The trees today, Jack, with the fresh snow and it piles up on top of their branches and it looks like a Norman Rockwell painting. Gorgeous. But in order to see them, you got to drive across our roads and live in our state, which is run by retards.
Yeah. Yeah, because like Vermont doesn't have people driving like complete fucking psychopaths on, and their roads actually look like people take care of them.
Eagle says the drive down the west coast of Michigan is one of the most beautiful drives in the world. Fight me. True.
Yeah, that is true. It is beautiful there,
Gorgeous.
especially in the fall.
Yeah.
You get the leaves turning colors. Yeah, it's very beautiful. But yeah, I don't want my car falling into a pothole and then I disappear off the face of the earth for a while.
Yeah, if you're gonna come up here, make sure you have a monster truck, because otherwise you might get stuck in a pothole.
Yeah, you'll have to dig your way out, fight Morlocks the whole way.
You know,
It becomes a whole adventure that you didn't ask for.
we just had the election where our governor was bragging about how much of the road she's fixed. Not a fucking sign of that the whole way on our trip and back.
Yeah. Yeah, no, she may have fixed her driveway.
Yeah, she fixes roads she has to drive on.
Yeah.
Because I will tell you, I have driven on it not that long ago. The road right in front of the Capitol, really nice. Really nice.
Strangely, only goes to the governor's mansion.
Yeah, past there, it gets a little iffy. Let's call it iffy. Anyway, so Jack, I wasn't online a whole bunch today. I know I have some things, but I wasn't here a bunch. I do want to talk about the football thing just briefly. And this doesn't actually involve football itself. It involves the betting market. And some of the things we've seen. So, Jack, they have this penalty in football called pass interference. You're not allowed to touch the receiver before the ball is there. It's supposed to be to, one, help the game go along better, but two, also to keep the receiver safe. At the end of this game that was brought up earlier, the Commanders versus the Giants, the ball is being thrown to the receiver. As the ball is coming, are you okay over there?
Yeah, it sounds super gay.
Oh,
the ball is thrown to the receiver and it's coming.
As the ball is being thrown, it's in the air, not even close to the receiver. The defensive guy is literally hugging the receiver. Aww. Right in front of two referees, and not one of them called it. And if you like sports and stuff, it'd be impossible to fix a game. You don't have to fix a game to who the winner is. That's not how the sports betting world works, Jack. You don't basically bet on Chargers are going to beat the Raiders. That's not how you bet. You bet Chargers will beat the Raiders by 5 points. Thank you, Snubber. I'm late. Have I missed the title topic? Yeah, just Elon Musk had a poll up on Twitter that he says he's going to abide by. And if the results hold up like they are right now, then Elon will be stepping down with no time frame. So there's the short recap. But anyway, Jack, I would be interested to see an investigation into the NFL. You know the guy who do you know what Binance is? Does that name ring a bell?
Not really, no.
Binance is the people who were going to buy out FTX when suddenly they realized there's a problem with FTX.
Oh, okay.
And he's the head of that, is the one that was fighting with Sam Bankman-Fried over which one was going to be the premier exchange. There's a video of him talking about how Sam Bankman-Fried, put money into different sports arenas. And then he specifically said, and referees.
Huh.
Yeah. With the, here in Michigan, they just, I think it was last year, maybe the year before, they made sports betting legal. And with the more and more legalization of sports betting, I got to be honest, some of the calls that I see in the NFL are like, you did that because you bet on the game, didn't you? Because it doesn't make any other sense. Like, it was right in front of you. It was right in front of you. Two of you were watching this man molest the receiver, and you did not throw the flag. Meanwhile, there was a game on Thursday night where it was the Seahawks versus the 49ers. And there's one play where you see the Seahawks holding, which is a penalty, and 3 flags come out. Not one of them was for the holding call. They were all against the 49ers for some weird reason on a play that didn't even matter. Like, So I would be interested to see a congressional investigation in this. They've done that before with sports, Jack.
Yeah.
And I wonder how many of these referees who are paid like garbage, how many of them have gotten bulk bank drops. Like suddenly from nowhere, they got a $5,000 injection into their bank. Again, it's not about the sport itself. It's about the sports betting. We've seen sports betting lead to a lot of fraud before. It's one of the arguments against sports betting. So yeah, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. I doubt anybody in power will even pay attention to it right now, because nobody needs an election topic about sports gambling being rigged, except for the poor people getting cheated out of their fucking money. 1909, yep. Oh, White Sox through the World Series. That is Shoeless Joe, if you've ever seen the movie Field of Dreams. The baseball players that pop up, that was the cheating team from that. It's not easy to do, but you can absolutely, if you're the referee and you throw, yeah, I saw it in hold. What hold? Right there. I promise I saw it. Well, okay, I guess we take them back 10 yards and they don't get an extra point. Snubber, thank you. To previous topic, if he steps down, he still owns it, right? Yes. He's not talking about selling it. He's just talking about, what's the word? Stepping away as the CEO is the person who handles the day-to-day. I'm saying that right? Yeah.
I don't know, maybe.
He's just talking about stepping away from the day-to-day. What else did I have? I had something else and I can't find it. Oh, well.
Did you see the pseudo Twitter drop that Taibbi did?
That's yes. Thank you.
Do you need the link?
Nah, I can pull up his account. I follow him. Yeah, we had a supplemental. Bam, there we go. I knew there was something else, Jack. I appreciate you bringing that one up.
Well, you keep me around.
Whoops. This is not the thread. Damn you, Matt. Hang on. I got to get to where the thread itself is.
Here, this side chat.
Thank you. I mean, because that is the first in the thread. But for one of the problems I've had with Twitter lately is that if you go to one that you know is a thread, you'll only get one or two of the actual thread. I had this with the Twitter files. That's why I always start by highlighting the bottom and just scrolling back up. Yeah, it's a pain in the ass. I don't know if it's something Twitter changed or what, but all right, let's highlight that one and we'll just scroll back up just to be sure it doesn't switch up on me. Now, this one, I didn't find that there was all that much interesting about it. And I think he made a mistake in here, but let's get into it. In July of 2020, San Francisco FBI agent Elvis Chan, we talked about him in the last one, tells Twitter executive Yoel Roth to expect written questions from Foreign Influence Task Force, the interagency group that deals with cyber threats. I believe you need a better acronym. You really do. FITF is hard to say. Would like a response on our meeting from August 20th. It can be written response or we can set up a phone call, whatever's easiest for you. I think you can tell from the nature of the questions that there was quite a bit of discussion within the USIC to get clarifications from your company. Let me know how you'd like to proceed. Thanks. The questionnaire, the questionnaires authors seemed displeased with Twitter for implying in a July 20th DHS ODNI FBI industry briefing. Okay, so that is Department of Homeland Security, the Office of the Director of National Intelligence, FBI, Federal Bureau of Ejaculation, and industry. That's the one that I feel like they keep missing, the industry. This means this was a meeting with all of them. We've seen the collusion between these places before, and they're all like, no, we didn't all get together to ban Alex Jones on the same day. We came to that decision ourselves independently.
Well, obviously.
Like, oh, well, sure. You all just literally did it within an hour of each other, but it was all, yeah, okay. You guys all just realized that Alex Jones yells a lot or whatever it was that pissed you off about them that day. Anyhow, but they all tried to say, no, we're all independent. All right. During the June 20th, 2020 working group meeting, working group. I love that terminology. You ever been involved in a working group that actually worked, Jack?
No, they all just sit around and complain and talk.
Yeah, it's like being on a group project, but there's no real goal. And it always bothered me, Jack. I have things to do. Let's just figure out whatever it is we're supposed to figure out and get back to work.
Some people that create these things, they just want to hear themselves talk, or they think it makes them look productive, but they're never productive.
Anyway, on a working group meeting on election security, you indicated you had not observed much recent activity from official propaganda actors on your platform. To make sure we understand the state media online landscape as much as possible, we hope you would be able to answer some questions about your analysis and conclusions. So Twitter's telling them, hey, we're not seeing the Russians try to interfere with the election. Not specifically just the Russians. The Iranians come up a lot. The Chinese, which they never pay attention to. Isn't it weird we haven't seen the Chinese mentioned once in this stuff? Not once.
Everybody seems to be on the Chinese payroll, so
I know, right? But anyway, they're saying state actors aren't doing anything on Twitter, and they're like, wait, we need to question you about that. For context, other sources we are aware of, including those referenced below, indicate state media actors are prolific users of social media, which seems in contrast to your own analysis as we document it at the time of our discussion. We would appreciate any other information you are willing to provide about your recent conclusions. All right. I don't mean to defend Twitter here, but maybe the Russians were like, Twitter's not really working out for us. Let's do this somewhere else.
Yeah, but that wasn't acceptable. This sounds like you're getting reprimanded by your boss. Like, you need to explain this to us. Come in for a meeting.
How is this possible? Anyway, in what ways and by what measures do you see official propaganda actors as less active than other groups on your platform? What groups are you comparing to official propaganda actors? That's a weird question.
Yeah.
That is a very weird question, because what other groups are you calling propaganda actors? Yeah. I would really like to talk to Mr. Elvis Chan.
I don't think you'll get a straight answer out of him.
Oh, I know I wouldn't, but I have some questions for him. Why is the official office of the Director of National Intelligence worried about what other official propaganda actors? And what do they mean by that?
Trump.
What official propaganda actors did you include in your analysis? How do you differentiate official propaganda actors from foreign state actors? And what is the reason to make that distinction? In what bucket do you place, for example, outlets such as Ruptly or In the Now, which are part of the state media apparatus, but which seek to obscure that link by using different branding? Are they included in your analysis? This is, you were right. I mean, except for I would go a little further when you said, it's like your boss reprimanding you. This is like, why didn't you find the evil we wanted?
Yeah, you didn't look hard enough. Clearly, it's there. Trust us.
What quantitative metrics do you use to judge volume of activity on your platform? On what scale can you provide these metrics? What relative weight do you give each metric when judging volume of activity? Well, how about the volume of the activity?
No.
What quantitative measures do you use to inform judgments about activity, including the volume of activity on your platform? How do you limit the scope of your analysis of the domestic, scam, foreign state, official propaganda, and white supremacist actors, i.e., date, range, language, location, topic, etc. Notice they didn't have Black Lives Matter in there.
Well, I mean, why would they? They didn't do nothing. They're good boys.
Here are the references. Oxford Internet Institute, University of Oxford, COVID-19 news and information from state-based outlets targeting French, German, and Spanish-speaking social media users from June 29th, 2020. French Foreign Research Institute, Russian narratives about U.S. election integrity in 2020 from the 25th of May, 2020. Once again, we have the Oxford Institute, coronavirus coverage by state-backed English language news sources, understanding Chinese, Iranian, Russian, and Turkish government media from the 8th of April. Mercator Institute for Chinese Studies, propaganda beyond the Great Firewall from the December 5th of 2019. And my favorite, Jack, the Wall Street Journal, Russian state news outlet RT thrives on YouTube, Facebook from October 24th, 2017. What? Hey, 5 years ago, somebody wrote an article for the Wall Street Journal and it said X, so that must still be true.
Yeah, things change, right, guys? Like, times change, people adapt to the situation, they evolve. Stop being stupid.
By the way, Rupley, the only thing I've ever watched over there is live video. Like when they were watching Julia Assange, waiting to see if he was going to be kicked out of, what was it, Ecuador at the time?
Oh yeah, their embassy.
Yeah, they had a camera on it. They've also been to many of the riots that we've seen, and they don't give any context. They just film on their live videos. I'm not saying their other stuff isn't propaganda related, but if you're just looking for the raw video feed, they're a great place to go.
Yeah.
It's the Russians. I don't care if Americans would do it. I'd watch them.
Yeah, because I want to watch dumbasses being dumbasses.
One would think that would be good news. The agencies seem to feel otherwise. Chan underscored this. There was quite a bit of discussion within the USIC to get clarification from your company, he wrote, referring to the United States intelligence community. The task force demanded to know how Twitter came to its unpopular conclusion. I'll tell you how, because even in 2016, it wasn't the nonsense you guys tried to portray it as. This has all been used. You and I have been talking about how all of this nonsense was going to be used to get us a new Patriot Act, but internally. And it turns out that they didn't even have to pass anything. They just have the FBI out there strong-arming people into doing as they say. We'll get to that in a second. We'll get to it. Oddly, it includes a bibliography of public sources, including a Wall Street Journal article attesting to the prevalence of foreign threats, as if to show Twitter they got it wrong. Yeah, none of those actually, even the one that named social media sources didn't name Twitter. They didn't. They named Facebook, and I forget what the other one was, but it wasn't Twitter. Anyway, you know where the Russians are really doing this? MySpace. The Russians own MySpace. You heard it here first. Roth, receiving the questions, circulated them with the company executives and complained that he was frankly perplexed at the request here, which seems more like something we get from a congressional committee than the Bureau. It really does. If you've ever watched congressional committees, those are congressional committee questions. Have you ever seen those, Jack, where they, we're going to send this to you and you need to answer these 5 questions? This isn't the FBI investigating a crime here. Anyway, here was Roth's response. Hi, team. The questions we received are attached. I'm frankly perplexed by the request here, which seems more like something we get from a congressional committee than the Bureau. There's a big discussion to be had about state-controlled media, which will be impacted by the label launch later this month. Anyway, but I'm not particularly comfortable with the Bureau and by extension the IC, the intelligence community, demanding written answers here. What's your perspective on how best to navigate? So for the first time, we see Roth not being a fucking retard. I'm just throwing that out there because he was right to be like, yeah, these are weird questions that they shouldn't be asking because it's none of their business. And as we see here in a moment, it doesn't even make sense. The next tweet from Tiabi just repeats what we read right there. He sent another note internally saying the premise of the questions was flawed because we've been clear that official state propaganda is definitely a thing on Twitter. One other follow-up. In rereading the doc, the entire premise seems flawed. In our June 2020 briefing, we did not indicate that we had not observed much recent activity from official propaganda actors on your platform. I re-reviewed my notes from that briefing, and there's a specific item calling out official propaganda outlets as a major factor, which, by the way, as he just told us, Jack, they were setting up a label to say these are, this is a Russian propaganda piece. You can find those if you find anything from Rupley here on YouTube. It always has that little banner at the bottom that says, this is a Russian-backed news site. I don't even think they call it news. And in multiple follow-ups with Elvis, we've been clear that official state propaganda is definitely a thing on Twitter, but that is different in terms of how we handle it than clandestine fake accounts. My recommendation is to get on the phone with Elvis ASAP and try to straighten this out. I'm concerned there's swirls somewhere in the IC about a statement that may have been fundamentally misunderstood. Blank, would you be okay with me reaching out to Elvis today to try to do that in advance of a more formal engagement with the doc they sent? So here's Joel saying, but we said that the state act, we told them what they wanted to hear. Apparently you didn't do it. You didn't tell them hard enough, Joel. You didn't come out and say that they were responsible for the 2020 election in that meeting. I mean, you did it on Capitol Hill repeatedly. You did it on your platform repeatedly, but you didn't do it in that specific meeting hard enough. I mean, goddamn. We've all seen the results of this shit. Roth suggested, that's the same thing. This exchange is odd among other things because some of the bibliography materials cited by the FITF are sourced to intelligence officials who in turn cited the public sources. This is some shit we've seen with the FBI. I mean, it's kind of what happened with the Steele dossier, where it's like somebody from the FBI goes to the media and says, this is happening. And then they take that media article and go, see, look, this is happening. Have I mentioned how dirty the fucking FBI is? Have we talked about that lately?
Not lately, but you're not wrong.
This is like me telling Jack right now, I'm the greatest person in the world. And then taking this stream and going, look, there's proof. I'm the greatest person in the world.
The evidence is right here. Somebody said it. Ergo.
And this is what they're using to push social media sites to bend to their will. And you really got to wonder, Jack, because a lot of this stuff is not about foreign intelligence. A lot of what we saw people getting banned for, even from the FBI files that we saw the other day, nothing to do with foreign misinformation or anything like that. It was Americans telling bad jokes. And that's what the FBI was looking at. It again, to use something similar to what they've been caught doing before, it's kind of how like the FISA court is not supposed to be used for their own political wills, and yet it was, where they flat out lied to them. How much trouble did they get into for lying to the FISA courts?
None. Slap on the hand. The one lawyer got a little slappy on the hand.
He got some community service, right?
Yeah, it was like a 6-month thing. It didn't even last a year.
Lied to a court that is there to to protect your rights. But they don't care about your rights.
No.
And it's becoming alarming to me, Jack, just how bold they are with this.
Why? There's no consequence. Why wouldn't they be bold? There's absolutely no possibility they're going to get in any real trouble.
It's also worrying to me that none of these companies have spoke up. Not one of them.
Why would they? They don't mind doing the FBI's bitch work. And they're more than willing to get involved to silence people they don't like. As long as this is against people they don't like, they're absolutely fine with this.
The closest we got to any of them coming out and admitting this or even bitching about it was Zuckerberg over there with Rogan, where he's like, well, yeah, the FBI, they kind of told us some stuff. If I was, maybe I'm just a different person. Maybe I'm just too American. If I had a company and the FBI was coming to me like this and being like, we need you guys to get, I would be on my platform that day going, you guys would not believe what the FBI just said to me. I'd be posting that shit out there and be like, here they are. This is what they're doing. And part of the problem is the people in charge here agree with it. It's not just that they're assholes and they're losers and they're pussies and they're cowards. All of that's true. It's they have the same agenda, Jack. You're right. When the FBI is telling you have to, well, I guess I have to do it. I didn't want to. I didn't want to be this asshole, but the FBI really wants me to.
Oh,
why are you taking
my arm? Owie.
Yeah, why are you taking the shots for the FBI? Huh. The FBI responded to Friday's report by saying it regularly engages with private. We'll just read it. The FBI replies to Matt Taibbi. The FBI regularly engages with private sector entities to provide information specific to identify, foreign malign influence actors, subversive, undeclared, covert, or criminal activities. Private sector entities independently make decisions about. All right. Is Billy Baldwin a foreign malign influence actor?
Maybe.
Love your show, and Ricada Law said he'd love to have you on. Me and Nick, we've talked before. He's been on our show. How do I say that? Jack, how do I say that?
How do you say that Ricada's been on the show before?
No, the name there in chat. That's SAIA, right? Saya? Is that how you say that?
I have no idea. Saya? Saya?
Saya. Okay. Nick has been on the show before, and many times he's run his audience over to me on Twitch when he used to stream over there. I would love to go hang out with him on his show. He had me on what's that one show called that he does sometimes with the other guys?
Men in Tights? No, that was a movie.
We didn't have to wear tights, but he had me on there. But yeah, I'd love to go hang out on his show and chat with him someday.
Yeah, he was nice enough to come over here and hang out with us, which was probably a bad decision on his part, but
that was a really fun show.
Yeah, Flashcast.
And he Flashcast, thank you. He was really accommodating to all of my questions about him. He didn't know it was going to turn into an interview. But he was really gracious in taking all my questions. Anyway, so the FBI, look, man, this is how they pull it off. This is how they look. We went and told them that this was happening, but any decisions were theirs. Fuck you. Bullshit. You have the power of the FBI and you're going to somebody going, hey, we want you to do this. The only company that we know of, Jack, the only company we know of, and this comes from people within the FBI who tell these guys to get fucked on the regular, is Verizon. Not Verizon. T-Mobile.
Oh, T-Mobile? Really?
Yeah. T-Mobile apparently tells the FBI to go get fucked on the regular.
Good.
Yeah.
Tell them to get a fucking warrant because they can't.
Yep.
There's an implied threat when the FBI says we want you to do this.
Yes.
So I think there is some level of fear, but at the same time, they're more than willing to comply when it comes to people they don't like.
Matt says that may be true, but we haven't seen in the documents to date. Instead, we've mostly seen requests for moderation involving low-level accounts belonging to ordinary Americans and Billy Baldwin. And then he just says to follow these guys for the rest of the stuff. So, what did we learn here? Well, not a whole lot, other than they had a minor disagreement. And with that minor disagreement, Jack, they sent down this list of hey, how are you quantifying that? How are you quantifying that they're not as bad of foreign actors as somebody else? And like Matt says in that closing tweet there, we didn't see them going after the Russians or anybody like that. All of this shit was about, oh my God, this American is saying something we don't like. And yeah, you have the power of the FBI behind you. We've seen what the FBI does to people.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you'll get a raid at 3 a.m. by a FBI SWAT team if you so much as breathe funny.
Ask Miss Weaver what happens when you fuck with the FBI. Oh, wait, you can't. She's been dead for a while now because of, who was it? Oh, yeah, the FBI.
Yeah, and the ATF, to be fair.
Adam Schiff is already threatening Twitter or basically Elon. Well, Adam's a little bit mad because Elon bitch slapped him yesterday.
Well, yeah, Adam's kind of a dumbass. So
Adam can't do shit because he's getting kicked off. Well, he's getting kicked out of the leadership. The Democrats lost control of the House. He will no longer be the chairman of the. Is he judiciary? Or is it Nadler that's judiciary? I forget which one. One of them is intelligence, one is in judiciary. Both of them are losing their spots because they're Democrats and the Republicans get to name the leader now. So he can be as mad as he wants about it. He can even write letters going, we need this answered. And they can go, fuck you. I'm not answering your shit. Subpoena me. I dare you. And subpoenas have to be approved by the committee overall, Jack.
Yeah, well, that's probably not going to happen.
You think Jim Jordan's going to give you what you want, shithead? I cannot wait for Jim Jordan to be in charge of it. I think, okay, now I got to look. I think he's on the judiciary.
Yeah, I think he is too, and he should be in charge because he's actually pretty concerned with First Amendment stuff and freedoms. At least he puts up that front.
He's the ranking member on the Judiciary Committee, which means most likely he will be the incoming chairman of that committee. And you know what? You and I have talked about this many times. Will anything change? Probably not. But it'll be fun to watch. It will be a blast to watch. And I can't wait. I really can't. And watching these fucking people who, when they came in, their stated goal was to impeach the president, lose their power. Not to investigate whether he needed impeached. No. To impeach.
Well, I mean, they got to punish him, monkey.
Yep.
You don't want them to not punish him because he won.
And when the first impeachment comes around, they were happy because they got to use both Judiciary and the Intelligence Committee. So Nadler and Schiff got to get their dirty little fucking fingers into it. And both of them were like, we're going to impeach him. Fuck you guys. You are dirty shitheads. I'm not against impeachment if it's called for. But you guys didn't go out there and say you wanted to investigate it. You said you were going to impeach. And that makes you shitbags. Because that is just partisan. You didn't even know if it needed done. And the shit that you ended up impeaching him for was shit that happened after you got in your office. They didn't even impeach him for anything that they had already, Jack.
Mm-hmm.
Dirty shitbags. So, yeah, I don't think a lot is going to change, but it will be funny. It will be funny. And I really do wish the Republicans would have picked up the Senate because seeing Rand Paul with actual power to subpoena people would have been great.
Yeah, I'd like to see him investigate Fauci a little more.
Oh, yeah. Fauci, why are they going to investigate me? You know why, you dirty prick. No, I don't understand. I just did my job. No, you didn't. You're a dirty bastard. Oh, excuse me. Man, I've had a day, Jack. It's been a decent day, but it's been a long day.
Yeah, I've had kind of a weird day, so I get you.
Wow. What is wrong with Europe, man?
Other than the fact that there's a lot of dirty Europeans there, I don't know.
Outrage after Afghan gang rapist given police protection in Germany. Interior Ministry refuses to deport him. Why is his face covered?
Well, they got to protect him, monkey.
He's a gang rapist. Fuck the guy.
He's only a gang rapist, monkey.
After 2.5 years in prison. Oh my God. Wow. Okay.
This type of shit that we could expect here in about 2 to 5 years.
Monkey commented on your Twitter, but was a little bobo. What? Yes, go after Fauci. Oh, I absolutely agree. And they will be, but it's going to be House investigations instead of the Senate. After 2.5 years in prison for gang rape, Afghan Mukhtar, N, whatever, is back on the streets of fuck me. Ew, fuck. Of Smith. What is Iller Kirchberg?
Some German town, anyway.
Of Naziville, but this time he enjoys taxpayer-funded police protection. The fact that he is in Hitlerberg is also notable given that it's on the outskirts of Ulm, a city that made national headlines recently after an Eritrean migrant murdered a 14-year-old girl. God damn it.
Eritrean, by the way.
Whatever. I'm American. That should say Smith or nothing at all.
Right.
I embrace my unwillingness to learn how to say foreign words.
It's easier
that goes for Canadian words too. Just throwing that out there. They have a couple, like Hokey, that game they play. That was a good joke. Come on.
Took me a second too.
Authorities say they are concerned for the gang rapist's safety due to growing resentment.
Yeah, you think? Why are you concerned for a rapist's safety? I don't understand that.
It's hilarious to watch monkeys struggle with names. I find it funny myself. And you know what? The comedic aspect makes it so I don't even really try. You guys are just encouraging bad behavior here.
As your enabler, I approve.
That's why you're called doctor. You're absolutely right, Nuts. Because rather than try to figure out what that says, the first two letters are DR, so he is now doctor over on my game stream. It's a true story. If you come to my stream expecting your name to be said correctly, that is on you. That is your fault.
That is an unrealistic expectation sometimes.
The police protection detail reportedly began on the same day of the funeral for the girl. Really?
Yeah.
They're real big on the optics over there, Jack.
It depends on the type of optics, I guess.
I mean, it is Germany. Comparatively speaking, this isn't the worst they've ever done.
Sadly true.
Keldrick, thank you. Were they concerned with the safety of his victim? Probably not. I'm doubting his victim has police protection.
No, she's dead, so.
Wait. The one who got killed is the one who was gang raped?
Read the sentence again.
City made national headlines recently after Arentine, how do you say that? Whatever. Migrant murdered the 14-year-old girl. Oh, fuck me. Yeah, I was just reading that there was another attack, not that it was the same person. Fuck. Germany? fuck is wrong with you?
Well, let's go back to the Kaiser and let's start there.
However, the Interior Ministry argues he can't be deported because the Taliban rule in Afghanistan. Fuck you.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck you. God bless, man. I guess he served whatever time they gave him, Jack, right? But
They gave him like 2 years for gang rape.
2.5 years. But if I'm doing the math correctly, an 11-year-old child at the time.
Yeah.
She was 14 when she was killed just recently, and he served 2.5 years. She was about 11 at the time this happened.
And his police protection started the day of her funeral. How fucking sick is that? I was so enraged when I read this.
Yeah, deporting him, I would deport him, Jack, but we would just kick him out of the plane over Afghanistan without a parachute.
You do a layover in Egypt and dump him off there and tell them exactly what he did, because Egypt has a very, very bad habit of killing pedophiles.
Oh, they will beat him to death in the streets.
Yeah.
With shoes.
Yeah, and it'll be ugly. And you know what? That's what he deserves. So fuck this guy. I don't know why the Germans are treating him like he's some sort of like heroic martyr, that he's like, you know, they're giving him the type of protection that they would have given like Gandhi or something. No, fuck this scumbag. So yeah, he's obviously a degenerate piece of shit that just wandered into your country for the free stuff, and he decided to take what he wanted from some preteen girl. He's a barbarian. Send him somewhere where barbarians get handled.
It'd be a damn shame if his security detail fell asleep, you know, right as the cameras went out.
Right. Real quick, thank you, Naziville, who says, "We enjoy breathing the bagel dust." Thank you, sir. Well, I get you do you, I guess. I don't know how this works. I don't know what that reference means. Thank you.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it's not a pretty day in the news.
Washington University lecturer warns medical students not to debate her on systemic oppression. Shut that down. I have a really hard time being neutral around issues of systemic oppression, the lecturer told medical students.
Medical students.
Is this a fat white lady?
She's not, well, by my standards, she's a bit chunky, but by your unrealistic standards of fatties, she's not. There is a video, but I didn't think we'd be able to play it.
A lecturer for Washington University in St. Louis Medical School was caught on camera warning students that if they tried to debate her on critical race theory and systemic oppression, she will shut that shit down real fast. There's no systemic oppression. What is it? Please give me it. What is the system? Anytime they try to give you a system, Jack, it's always like, well, sometimes people are mean in public. That's not a systemic issue.
Yeah, well, there's a systemic problem of white men existing.
I have a really hard time being neutral around issues of systemic oppression. Caitlin Reed Rogier, whatever, told a class of medical students this past semester in a video exclusively obtained by Fox News Digital. So oftentimes, you know how I feel. This does not mean that I am opposed to hearing other perspectives. I would like to wait. You said you'd shut that shit down fast.
Well, you can have a conversation, but you can't debate it.
I hate when people say this shit. I'm open to the discussion, but you better not have it. They try to have it both ways because they want to sound like, yes, I'm an open-minded person, while also clearly not being.
Well, to be fair, they want to have the conversation about it, but only with sources that agree with them.
Yes.
So there is no real opposition. You're just debating some minor aspect of it. Like, does it include Hispanics or just black people? You know, that type of nuanced shit that nobody gets anywhere with. Real quick, though. Thank you, Evolved Potato. You know, a week or two ago, Germany arrested an old aristocrat guy whose only provable crime was supporting going back to a monarchy. He might be a better ruler than current Germany. I'd bet money on it now. Yeah, I saw something about that. There's been like a some kind of
Did
weird call to bring back a monarchy in various European countries. I don't really know what that's about, but I don't think it's going to happen.
did you and I talk about that off stream? Because I remember that story.
We probably did. It was probably one of the things that we offhandedly were talking about.
Yeah.
And thank you, Cult of Krill. A man was admitted to the ER with 25 plastic horses in his rectum. Doctors described his condition as stable.
Nice. I thought he was going to say foul, but all right.
No, those would be ducks,
Foal.
right?
I was going to spell, foal.
Yeah.
But anyway.
I get where you're going.
Stable works much better, though. Time to open the barn. Anyway. Oftentimes you will know how I feel. This does not mean that I'm opposed to hearing other perspectives. I would like to be very clear about that. I am always willing to engage in dialogue with folks that may disagree with me, always. And I will not think less of you, nor will I try to fight you or debate you. And in fact, if you try to fight me or debate me, I will shut that shit down real fast. So you're not really interested in hearing their opinions. Why do people do this? Just be honest. I understand that everybody wants to be seen as a good person, but if you're just a shitty person, why not just embrace it? Why not just admit it? Could you talk?
I don't know, man. These people are stupid. Look, this is just, I am better than you. I'm smarter. I am a lecturer, and you are just some dummy dumb student. And I know all about your oppression, you poor indigenous person of color. Let me white knight for you. Now kneel before me and do exactly what I tell you to. Sure, Jane. Yeah. Stupid and evil. That's what we have. Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of people that are just foolishly ignorant, and they're arrogant on top of that. And that's a weird combination to be both arrogant and stupid. But we see it a lot, more and more. And it's not going to get any better because we tell everybody, we validate everybody on all their stupid ideas and be like, you speak your truth. No, you're speaking your stupid.
Sorry about that, man.
Oh, no, you're good. You all right?
Yeah, just stuff running down my throat. Reedy
Yeah.
Rogers, whatever, serves as a member of the school's Understanding Systemic Racism team. What? As the co-lead, according to the university website, the lecture was part of Washington University's Health, Equity, and Justice lesson, which is included in the medical school's required gateway curriculum that was rolled out in 2020.
This is a medical school. This is the nonsense they're learning.
At Washington University, we are advancing human health care.
Are we?
Are you? Never mind. Let's talk about your trans teaching, because I'd be very curious. We're advancing human health as a diverse and inclusive community, inspiring learners to create the future of medicine, science, and society. Our goal is to produce physicians who are leaders in medicine, science, education, and advocacy.
Advocacy should not be in with
No.
that, because we all know what they mean by advocacy.
Yeah, if they, we're talking about advocating for health, that's one thing.
Yeah.
A doctor who goes out there and who advocates for people to eat healthier, that's a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
A doctor who goes out there and advocates that white people are bad because reasons is a fucknut. What was that medical school we watched? Remember where they took their little oath and they'd included all that social justice crap in it?
Oh, I don't remember, but yeah, I know what you're talking about. I don't remember what school though.
Ahead of implementing the gateway curriculum, the medical school vowed in June of 2020, as protests and riots erupted across the country following the death of George Floyd, that it would, quote, require diversity and bias training for all searches and admissions processes, including students, residents, fellow faculty and staff positions in education. Yeah, George Floyd being killed, however you want to describe it. I'm not getting into that argument tonight. You guys can if you want to, but no matter how you describe it, has absolutely nothing to fucking do with medical schools. Was it a doctor on his neck, Jack? Did I miss something?
He might have identified as a doctor. I'm not sure.
Did Chauvin have a doctorate in medicine?
He might have had a doctor in his pocket or something.
Oh, maybe. He once went to a doctor.
Yeah.
So
then he slept at a Holiday Inn Express.
Hey, Camel says it was the University of Minnesota. All right.
That sounds right.
That was so fucking stupid, man. These are people who are supposed to be healers. That's their job, is to go out there and learn, okay, these are the diseases that are hurting people. Here's how you fix them. And instead they're getting this shit.
Yeah. It's infecting everything. It's not getting any better. This is getting a lot worse.
And it's going to keep going and going and going because it comes from the colleges. All those fucking idiots who are like, it's just on college campuses. That still fucking irritates me, Jack.
Yes, it should.
Because by the time that they were saying that, it had already leaked out. Social justice didn't pop up in colleges in 2016. It's been going on for decades. It's just on college campuses. Where do you think those people go after they graduate, dummy? Not all of them are professional students. A couple are, Jack, but
I feel judged.
You're not in college right now.
No, but I would be if I could, because, man, that was fun.
Be the weird old guy showing up at the college parties.
Hell yeah. It's great.
Oh, I don't care about this person at all. First openly transgender woman set to be executed in the U.S. asks for mercy. I don't care that you're transgender. I don't at all.
Yeah, but we all know it's a get out of jail free card these days. Or get into a women's jail free card, I should say.
You think Biden will pardon her?
It wouldn't surprise me, honestly.
Curious, thank you so much. To the tune of Destiny Child, say my name, say my name. Thank you for the donation. I can't say your name correctly. I will pronounce it 400 different ways, and one of them might be right. Lawyers for Amber McLaughlin. What's Amber's name? Because I guarantee you Amber wasn't Amber when they killed.
It's time to kill again.
Okay, I don't want to guarantee that. I'm almost positive. We can look at Amber there. By the way, good job with trying to pass. Throw on some lipstick and put in some little clips that aren't even on your head.
Yeah.
Anyway. The first openly transgender woman set to be executed in the U.S. is asking Missouri's governor for mercy, citing mental health issues.
I put little clips in my hair, and I wore a beret once. That makes me a woman. Therefore, I'm too crazy to be killed.
Thank you, Dark Resurrect, coming through that feminist $12. Yuri Bezmenov warned about this in the late 70s, early 80s. He warned that the education system was already infiltrated. Yes, he did.
Yep.
Lots of people have been warning about this for a long time, but yeah, you're not wrong.
And we've known that they've been infiltrating the education system since the 40s. But and believe it or not, people were pushing back against communism for the longest time. But eventually they figured out that if they get an administration, then they'll be able to control it better. And they did. And they got in the administration, hired more people like them. And now we have like a major problem on college campuses. Even community colleges are not immune to this shit.
Did you guys see Matt and Blonde's surprise cringe today? Did not.
No, I missed Matt and Blonde. I had some real life stuff to do, unfortunately.
I was trying to get sleep.
I'm actually like 4 episodes behind on their show.
Lawyers for Amber McLaughlin.
McLaughlin.
That's McKiller.
McKiller? Yeah.
McKiller. Thank you, Snubberth. Missouri won't care. Rest in piss, rapist. Well, here's the thing. I could see this one being elevated to the president and the president giving clemency.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, a rapist, murderer, and this is the type of shit that they'll do because they're so completely out of touch with normal people. Normal people see you giving clemency to a rapist, murderer, they're gonna think, "The fuck are you doing?" But all they see is "Oh, it's a trans woman. Oh, we have to coddle them and give them little head pats." It's fucking sick.
Lawyers for Amber McKiller, now 49, on Monday asked Republican Governor Mike Parson to spare her. McKiller was convicted of killing 45-year-old Beverly Gunther on November 2003. You've gotten 19 more years than the woman you killed. Go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
Gunther was raped and stabbed to death in St. Louis County. Oh, that was nice. Gave her a parting gift. There's no known case of an openly transgender inmate being executed in the U.S. before, according to the Anti-Execution Death Penalty Information Center. It's wrong when anyone's executed regardless, but I hope that this is the first that doesn't occur. What? We're not going to celebrate this first?
I have no problem with certain people dying, and rapist murderers are among them.
He raped and murdered a woman. I'm going to have a cake when they die.
Yeah. Yeah, there would be a party. If I was the victim's family, I'd be like, we're having a big party, and it'd be a big electric chair with little blue icing for electricity on it.
Oh, fuck you. This goes back to the lawyer. This is the lawyer's comment. Amber has shown great courage in embracing who she is as a transgender woman, in spite of the potential for people reacting with hate. So I admire her display of courage. Fuck you. You're talking about a dude who raped and killed somebody who put on a dress so that they could go to women's prison.
Yeah. And look how they're framing it. This person is being executed because they're trans, is how they're trying to frame this. Oh, no. Look at the bravery here to come out and be their authentic self. And you want to murder that. Ugh.
McKiller's lawyer cited her traumatic childhood and mental health issues, which the jury never heard in the clemency petition. A foster parent rubbed feces in her face when she was a toddler, and her adoptive father tased her, according to a letter to Parson.
I'm going to need to see some evidence of these.
No. See, I don't even need evidence. I will say that happened. Where does that give her the right to murder and rape a woman?
Right. Look, maybe she's built up a little bit of an immunity to the lightning, so when she rides the lightning, it might take longer. So maybe we just use some firing squad.
Look, my parents killed me 45 times when I was a child.
Oh my God.
It was very traumatic. And you don't see me out there raping and killing.
No, but we do listen and believe, Monkey.
Parsons spokeswoman Kelly Jones said the governor's office is reviewing her request for mercy. These are not decisions that the governor takes lightly. You know, I can't imagine being the governor and having to be like, even if it is somebody horrible, signing that death certificate, basically being like, yeah, kill the fucker.
In certain cases, I would agree, but rapist, murderer, take me 2 seconds to sign that.
Cop said McKiller's lawyers are scheduled to meet with Parson on Tuesday. A judge sentenced McKiller to death after a jury was unable to decide on life or death. Go judge boy. Federal judge in St. Louis ordered a new sentencing hearing in 2016, citing concerns about the effectiveness of McKiller's trial lawyers and faulty jury instructions. But in 2021, a federal appeals panel reinstated the death penalty. It's been 20 years. Actually, it's been just over 19. 19 passed in November.
Yeah.
Fuck you. Did she do it? Because if they're claiming that she has mental reasons that made her do it, I don't care. I don't care what made you do it.
Yeah, it sounds to me like they're arguing that it would be cruel to execute somebody that's mentally ill. They don't seem to be saying that this person was mentally ill at that time. They're just saying, well, look, she's stunning and brave. That's the impression I was getting from this.
McKiller's lawyers also listed the jury's indecision and McKiller's remorse
Right.
as reasons to spare her life. So she did it.
Sounds
I'm
like
being
it.
too nice. He did it.
Sounds like a tacit admission to me. Like they're not even trying to hide it. They're not denying it. Put this motherfucker to death. I got no issue with it.
You don't have remorse for something you weren't a part of. She did it. That's an admission. Fuck her. See, I'll be nice. Fuck her. Kill her. Put her in the chair and electrocute that bitch. They don't do that anymore, do they? They do the lethal injection.
I don't care either way.
Yeah.
I don't care the methodology as long as this piece of shit ends up dead.
A lethal injection for a lethal injection. How about that?
Yeah. Real quickly. Thank you, Dark Resurrect, for that feminist donation. Interesting, disturbing fact. When a judge signs a death sentence, the pen is then destroyed so it can never sign away a life again.
Really?
You know what? I think they should give it to the family of the victim as a souvenir.
A lot of the families of victims don't want this. And I understand that, people who don't, because I am iffy on the death penalty, Jack. I think it should only be in cases we absolutely know. And this bitch is admitted to it.
Yeah.
So I'm very curious what they're like. She didn't do it, but she's sorry she did it. Anyway.
Hang on. Thank you. What does it take? Tommy Robinson has spoken out about grooming gangs, especially in Telford, for years. Horrific stories have been silenced because the multiculturalism agenda is a subject you can't question. Yeah, that's disgusting because Europe has a real fucking problem with that. And they're allowing these kids to get violated over and over again out of some weird sense of virtue signaling. I don't understand how some of these people sleep at night other than the fact that maybe they're all pedos.
Missouri's only executed one woman before, and that'll still be the same after this guy dies.
Yeah, he's got wiener.
Sunbird, thank you so much for the donation with the link there. I'll check it out as soon as I close this story. The killer's lawyer said she previously was rooming with another transgender woman, but now is living in isolation leading up to his scheduled execution. Porgman said 9% of Missouri prisoner population is female, and all capital punishment inmates are imprisoned at Potosi Correctional Center. It is extremely unusual for women to commit a capital offense, such as a brutal murder, and even more unusual for a woman to, as was the case with McKiller, rape and murder a woman.
There was a penis involved, so...
It was a fucking dude. Missouri executed 2 men this year. Kevin Johnson, a 37-year-old who was convicted of ambushing and killing a St. Louis area police officer he blamed in the death of his younger brother. And Carmen Deck died by injection in May for killing James and Zelma Long during a robbery in their home in DeSoto in 1996. Well, good. Fry the little fucker. I don't have any sympathy at all. You admitted it. There's no question.
This is disgusting.
Oh, this is a link to some people over on the Twitter trying to get this person not killed.
What other fucking degenerate scum?
Do you know that Amber McKiller's conviction was overturned by a federal judge who found her trial constitutionally ineffective? Her attorney, sorry. It was then reversed by the 8th Circuit. Please retweet, call Governor Parson, urge him to grant clemency. I gotta talk to my cousin real fast.
Yeah.
Because that's
the governor's name again? Parsons?
Parson. That's on my account, and I can't respond to it.
Oh.
I'm still in trouble. You know how it is.
You would be.
Hey, Elon, before you quit, could you free Ranting Monkey, man?
Hashtag free Ranting Monkey.
All right. I'm going to have my cousin retweet this. Retweet. What's Parsons' number? I want to encourage him to go through with it. Fuck This rapist murderer has admitted doing it. There we go. I expect a block.
I expect one too.
We'll see what happens. There might be, my cousin might end up with another. I haven't checked on his shadow ban today. Shadow bans usually come off slowly, Jack. They don't unshadow ban everything all at once.
Yeah.
And he was slowly getting unshadow banned the other day. I tweeted out that he'd been, shadow banned, or he tweeted out, whoops. And there were some people, I can see you. Well, yeah, because
you're following, but
yeah.
if you try and type it in the search bar, your name still, or your cousin's name still does not come up.
Yeah, like I said, I haven't checked this. Oh, the shadow ban, yeah, it actually got worse because now it's coming up saying that he doesn't even exist.
Yeah, that's what it's been for me the entire time since you mentioned it.
He must have said something bad again. I haven't seen him say anything bad.
Well, no, he's generally a pretty good boy.
Yeah, it's not like me.
Maybe, you know what it is? Maybe I said something and your cousin's getting blamed for it.
I would not be shocked because
I would not either. It'd be funny.
Often. Oh my, that's an interesting story. I tagged you in something earlier. Your name wouldn't come up. Yeah, apparently you got in more trouble.
Yeah, remember it's at Angry Monkey 422.
Yes. So you can tag me. It just won't autofill when you do it.
Yeah, it won't autofill and it won't give it the blue underline.
And when I say tag me, my cousin lets me know about all this stuff. We're on the up and up here. There's no ban evasion.
No, his cousin's a good
guy. Small town Iowa police chief charged with lying to the ATF to get 90 machine guns for department with 3 officers.
I mean, I get it. But at the same time, like, your officers don't need one of these.
A small Iowa town of 800 residents likely has no need for a police force armed with 90 machine guns to keep the peace.
I mean, I would understand 2 or 3 each, but 90? What, are you starting a militia?
Look, unless all you do is want to go out and have fun shooting machine guns, there's no reason for this.
That's probably what it was. But, I mean, you could arm just about every adult male in that town with 90 machine guns. There's 800 people there. Statistically, you have good odds of being able to arm every adult male that could carry one.
Yeah, I read ahead, and I expected this was the case. Mm-hmm. That, at least, is the view of federal prosecutors who on Wednesday announced the indictment of Adair Chief of Police Bradley Wendt on charges of making false statements to the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives to obtain numerous machine guns over a 4-year period on behalf of the police department, which during Wendt's tenure has never had more than 3 officers. Instead, according to prosecutors, weapons were resold for profit through Wendt's private gun store or another store owned by a friend who's also facing charges.
I mean, is anyone shocked by this? It's effectively just a straw man purchase.
Yep. They were doing this so they could get around laws. Getting a machine gun, you can own a machine gun, guys, a fully automatic machine gun. It's just really hard to get one.
Yeah, there's a ton of paperwork and fees. And you have to pass all kinds of background checks, and they'll come over with the rubber glove treatment for your butthole. But you can do it. And your name is definitely going on a list for gun seizures.
Yes. According to court filings and a press release from the U.S. Attorney's Office, Wendt used his position as police chief to obtain 10 machine guns for the official use of the police department, but later sold them 6 of them for a significant profit. In addition, Wendt obtained 13 guns for his Denison and Anita-based gun store BW Outfitters under the pretext they were to be used as demonstration models for future purchases by the department. Another 10 weapons were obtained in the same manner for Williams Contracting, a business Williams owned that is federally licensed as a firearm dealer. So this guy was just using these gun purchases from the... Was he buying them from the ATF?
Kind of sounds like it, but I don't know.
Yeah, because that sounds like he's obtaining them through the ATF, so they're buying it. All right, I mean, Jack, how do you feel about police departments having automatic weapons?
I don't like it personally.
Me neither, not at all. Anyway, how did it take so long? It took 4 years. They have 3 police officers. That's the most they've ever had. And he's ordering 12 guns. Why would you approve that purchase? Whoever was approving these purchases needs to be indicted as well. And stop selling automatic weapons to police departments.
Yeah.
And yes, these are fully automatic weapons. We're not talking about an AR-15 that's semi-automatic. We're talking fully automatic weapons here. The indictment describes the firearms as fully automatic weapons not legally available to the public, including an M60. An M60 belt-fed weapon.
Yes.
Why would a small-town police department, why would any police department need that?
I don't know, man. It's like when mid-sized cities get armored personnel carriers. What are you going to do with that? How often are you ever going to use that? So they have to justify the free money from the government by then using it. So they form SWAT teams, give them all these high-tech gadgets they don't need, and then they go do no-knock raids because it has to justify the federal expense for the upkeep of all the cool equipment. And then they basically get free stuff.
An M60, I mean, I know you, yeah, it was just said there in chat. I know you see Rambo holding it and firing it like that. Most people need to use that on a tripod. This isn't something that you're just running around Schwarzenegger style with, unless you're a really big guy, Jack. It's going to be too unwieldy.
Oh no, you knew he was doing something shady with it because either he likes shooting guns or he was selling them on the side, or both. Probably both. So yeah, it's pretty obvious what was going on here, and it wouldn't surprise me if some of these sales were pretty questionable.
I honest to God, that's the part that's really fucking with me. I mean, yes, all of it is stupid, but they asked for a belt-fed machine gun, and y'all were like, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, that's how you know this shit gets rubber stamped.
They shot Randy Weaver's wife in the face because he might have cut down shotguns slightly smaller than the legal federal limit.
Yeah.
And they're selling this guy M60s. For real? All right. I mean, I guess that's the power of being in the police department, right? I guess. Did you see Elon's bedside table picture has something weird on the bottom left? I'm not convinced that's actually his bedside table. I know a lot of people lost their minds about that picture. Anyhow. Oh my. Jack, you just can't get away from color, can you?
No.
I don't mean you specifically. I mean society. Mandatory military instruction affects Black and Latino high school students most frequently, report says. When high school student Trevor Reed was automatically enrolled in a Junior Reserve Officers Training Corps, JROTC, class in 2020, both he and his mother objected. We don't have to look far outside of our family to see the effect that the military has, especially when you have to go off to war. And so that's something my son never really wanted to do. Tanika Reed told CNN. Wait, they have mandatory JROTC? I've never heard of that before.
My understanding, because I kind of looked into this, but most of these are programs that you sign up for. You're in like a JO, it's a junior officer reserve training, JROTC, for those that don't know. But it sounds like the officer training what is mandatory for some other program that you signed up for.
Yeah, I mean, every time I've known lots of people that do ROTC. My sister was in ROTC. It was an elective class.
Yeah. I've never seen it be mandatory before at a public school.
So the Chicago mother sent multiple emails to the instructor of the Department of Defense sponsored youth military program and principal at Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. College Preparatory High School, offering an
preparatory
alternative.
high school.
What'd I say?
No, I'm saying it's specifically a preparatory high school and not like a regular school. This is not just some regular public school.
She suggested their son, Trevor, 17, could enroll in an online class that could meet the required health credit. But the message Reed told CNN she heard from school administration was, it's either our way or the highway, or he doesn't graduate. With his sights set on college, Reed said Trevor stayed in the class against his will. Yeah, I was in a lot of classes against my will, if I'm being honest. I mean, main classes that they made me take. I had no need for algebra. Algebra is shit.
Yeah.
With his sights set on college, he had to stay in. Reed, a member of the Chicago Public Schools Local School Council, which approves curriculum and budgets, started looking into the JROTC program's reach in Chicago and discovered JROTC was being made mandatory beyond her son's school. And there was a racial component. Dun, dun, dun.
Real quick. Thank you, Evolved Potato. I'm betting they signed up to a program to get some money from the government and they didn't read it, so now they're complaining. That's what my thought was, too. Somebody didn't read the fine print when they signed up for a program. You signed up at a preparatory school, you should read the entire contract.
A May 2022 CPS Inspector General report. CPS? As in Child Protective Services?
Or Chicago Public Schools, like we're talking about.
Oh, okay. That makes more sense. Fuck. How the fuck did CPS get involved? Okay, that makes more sense. I make no apologies for me.
No, it's perfectly reasonable since we usually are talking about CPS in the way that of Child Protective Services.
Right. Yeah, I'm sorry. It threw me off there. Anyway, the report found schools with 90% or more freshmen enrolled in JROTC were almost all on the south and west sides of Chicago. CPS says it has vowed to adopt all recommendations coming out of the report and has created a universal participation consent form. Can I say this? I hate when they do that. Like, we're going to go ahead and do all of the things that they recommended in this report. Because a lot of the times it seems like they don't read the reports first. And they're filled with stupid social justice bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, too many of the most vulnerable kids in her community have already been exploited, Reed told CNN. Exploited?
Exploited by this program that they signed up for.
All right, I'm gonna just be on the up and up with you. I don't believe in compulsory service like the Jews do, but I really do think that like ROTC, I'd be all right with that being mandatory because it would be the only way kids are taught to like America. We need a liking America course. We really do. And if it takes putting them in a fake army uniform to do it, I'm all right with that. What we've noticed about the 12 schools that we researched is that not only were there black and brown, but these are some of the poorest neighborhoods in Chicago. Let me ask you this. What is the overall breakdown of race in the schools?
Well, it's Chicago, so it probably does have a large black population.
And south and west sides of Chicago. We're talking the black portions of Chicago.
Yeah.
Thank you, Dark Resurrect, coming through with that feminist $12. Let's be honest, the discipline taught in JROTC might do the kids some good there in Chicago. I agree.
Yeah.
That's another plus.
Yeah, she wanted the college prep without the actually doing the work. And that's what it looks like, is they're trying to scam the system even though they knew what they were getting into.
I realize our military's gone downhill, and I'm not suggesting it hasn't, but back in my day, Jack, I saw a lot of my friends who were shitty people go into the military and come out better men because they needed that discipline in their life.
Yep.
And
especially, let's be honest, if you're from a one-parent household, it's a good chance that you didn't have enough discipline because your parent was working all the time.
Yeah. Well, fuck, we've had Ty on the show before, and he's talked about that, where they were left alone a lot.
Yeah.
Mom had to go work. What do you expect to happen?
Yeah. Idle hands and all that. So maybe this won't be that bad for the kid. So
the Department of Defense told CNN the department strongly maintains that participation in the JROTC program is a voluntary elective.
Oh, there it is.
A recent New York Times investigation found that requiring students to enroll in JROTC reaches far beyond Chicago, where CPS JROTC leaders proudly state that they have the largest JROTC program in the country in number of cadets and total programs. Yes, but where is the part that says they have to do it? The Times' extensive investigation found automatic enrollment into JROTC and at least 75% participation by a single grade happening in dozens of schools in multiple states, affecting thousands of students. The information the Times acquired from more than... Okay, I don't understand how this is working, because on the one hand, they're saying it's required that they're being signed up.
No, they're automatically. Yeah. Which means that you can opt out.
The information the Times acquired from more than a couple hundred open records requests revealed the vast majority of schools affected are predominantly attended by students of color and kids who live in households with low incomes. Based on an analysis by the Army data, the Times discovered at schools where at least 75% of freshmen accounted for JROTC classes, more than 80% of the kids were Black or Latino. Okay, so none of this says that they were forced to take it.
Yeah.
Now, look, I'm not a big fan of automatic enrollment. And if you want to say, okay, we're getting rid of the automatic enrollment because kids might not realize that they can be like, fuck that, I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
I'm going to take basket weaving instead. Cult of Krill, thank you so much. The Army made me a better man and gave me the technical skills to be a success later in life. Yeah. It's sad what's happened to the military because it used to be a good thing. I mean, there were even times, Jack, was like, you have a guy who gets in trouble in his hometown over and over, and finally the judge is like, look, you're either going into the Army or you're going to prison. Which do you prefer?
Yeah.
And he straightened themselves out.
Well, and you have to remember, this is not you enrolling in the military. You are taking a class at a school that isn't forcing you to become a soldier. It's a military style class, but it's still just a class. You are not automatically drafted into the Army after this.
As part of the work with Quaker Organization America Friends Service Committee, Jesus... His name's Jesus. He's a Quaker named Jesus, man. Jesus Palafox Valinodivos, whatever, was pulling data on JROTC enrollment practices in Chicago at the same time as Reed, the mother from Chicago. The 33-year-old activist... Is it wrong that when I read that, I immediately just dismiss the rest of what they say?
No.
The 33... How is your job activist?
Yeah, that should be a job. Hey, real quick. Thank you, Dark Resurrect, for that feminist donation. The Army taught me the self-motivation that turned a 2.0 GPA in high school to graduating college to the top 5% of students. Dude, that is awesome.
Well done.
Good
Well
for
done
you.
indeed.
I wish I had some of that guidance, especially around my last couple of years of high school, because I probably needed it. But dude, that's awesome. Thank you for that.
Look, as part of the thing you were talking about earlier with single parent homes, my mom and dad were married until she passed, but for a lot of my upbringing, I was in a single parent home. Dad wasn't there. He was overseas.
Yeah.
I mean, 6 months at a time, 3 months at a time, 1 month, going out for 2 weeks. I mean, gone all the time. And I think that is why, like what I told you, a lot of my friends went into the Army. My friends were military brats. We were all raised that way with dad there sometimes. And if your mom wasn't strong, you had a shitbag who never learned to mind to not be an
Yeah.
asshole. And so, yeah, I'm a firm believer that especially the old style military was a good way to grow up quickly and learn skills for life and start making some money for yourself. Learn discipline and how to get things done just because they need to be done. Dedication rather than motivation.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway.
No,
But go ahead.
No, what were you going to say?
I was going to read the next part of this.
Oh, yeah.
I just wanted to read this part because there's important context here. There were four recruiting stations within about a block and a half of the school. And so there was a heavy percent of military recruiters there. All right. Great Lakes is right outside of Chicago. It's part of Chicago, actually. It's where I spent my time in Chicago, Jack. There are major recruiting stations there. That's why they had as many of these recruiting stations as they did. It'd be like going down to Norfolk and going, there's a lot of ships here. Like, yeah, there's a fucking naval base, you dumb motherfucker.
That's weird how that happens. Like, it's almost like if you go out to a naval yard, you're gonna see some Navy shit. It's bizarre. And American stuff on an American military base. It's mind blowing.
The best part of my dad working at the naval station there in Great Lakes is recruiters have access to tons of stickers. So we used to have tons of stickers everywhere, man. Bumper stickers, window stickers, all kinds of shit. Apparently the armed forces thinks that's how you get people to come in, by giving them stickers.
Well, everybody likes stickers, especially
I love stickers.
ones.
I was like 8 years old, man. Stickers were the shit.
Yeah. It becomes an obsession as a kid, and as an adult, you're like, ooh, a sticker.
Dude, one of my favorite ways. I'm going to stop reading this stupid shit.
Oh, yeah. By the way, at the bottom of the story, it does say that Reed put her son Trevor, says her son Trevor bristled when recruiters showed up at the house, trying to convince him to join the armed services. You are not recruited into the main army through a JR ROTC. It's just not the way it works. They're trying to make it sound like they're drafting these kids when they're not. They're signing up for a program that they have to take some classes that are military based. Suck it up, you fucking crybabies. Okay, thank you.
I've never heard of recruiters just showing up at your house like they're Jehovah's Witnesses.
Oh, yeah, they used to do that at my school all the time. My guidance counselor would send them all the time to try and get me to drop out.
They sent the recruiters to try to get you to drop out?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, as soon as I turned 18, nonstop calls, people showing up the house. My dad had to escort one of them off the property.
Huh.
Yeah. That's it. When they do that, it's because the guidance counselor gave them your name. But I have seen that before. It's happened to me. It's happened to other people I know. So
Jehovah's recruiters.
Join God's army.
Yeah.
It's like Dumbledore's army, except more long term.
No, this is a trick for you guys out there with little kids. You can go to Amazon and for like $5 get a pack of like 600, 700, 800 stickers. Look around. And then you just buy a little ream of paper and the kids are bored, give them a sleeve of stickers and a sheet of paper and go to town. Here's some colors. You can color it in and make a pretty picture with your stickers. It'll keep them busy for hours, man. Because kids love stickers. Just throwing that out there. They knew 9/11 was coming, Jack. They wanted to help you. Well, Jack was saving up for the 9/11 that's going on Twitter right now.
Yeah.
He's saving himself.
Yeah. They were also like 20 years early.
Don't.
But thank you, Dark Resurrect, for that feminist donation. The only way you are forced to serve is if you take ROTC scholarship for college. Exactly. Yeah. In a high school program, they're not forcing you to serve in the military. This was a class, and they called it a health class because they probably did like jogging and shit like that, like they always do in ROTC.
Oh, yeah, you still have drills, basically.
Yeah. It was a JROTC program that was high school level. It was required for graduation because of the program that he was in. I'm so tired of these people trying to create the impression of something that's not. It just really pissed me off the way they were framing this. Like, oh, look at the evil military. No, this was a program you signed up for, and you were not forced to go in the military. It even said in the article that he's a sophomore at college now.
Yeah. There are requirements for things like you mentioned, the scholarship. And like I said, my sister was in it. My sister loved ROTC. We always, even though it's the JROTC, because real ROTC is in college. The juniors, we just called it ROTC because trying to say the J will just make your brain go.
Yeah.
But she was on the drill team in there. And they didn't give them real guns, but they had wooden looking, almost real guns where they do all the interesting tricks and throw them and spin them and all that shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was good at that shit.
Which is not a good way to handle your firearms, by the way.
But it looks cool.
It does look cool, but
especially when they do it all in unison. They look like a boy band with guns.
Yeah, which would make boy bands cooler.
It would. It really would. My brother was in JROTC. Yeah, I mean, man, as a military brat, you will find that a lot. When we got away from the military, like the last high school I was in, I don't think they even had a JROTC.
Yeah, they didn't have one in my school, but they had like the military recruiter day when they'd come out.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Stuff like that. But yeah, we didn't have that at our school. It probably would have been a good idea. We had a lot of people that probably could use discipline, including myself.
I just hate when they're always trying to diss on the military, especially like with recruiting. Look, we have to recruit. We don't have a draft. What would you prefer?
Yeah.
And in this case, like there were 4 around our school. The main recruiting base in the United States is right there, you dumb son of a bitch. It is a major. I still don't know why the Navy picked Chicago. I guess for size and population. But it's not like you have major battleships on Lake Erie or whatever that one is.
Yeah. It's like
which one is what Great Lake is over on the east side of the state?
Which state?
Of Michigan.
The east side is Lake Erie.
And then Lake Michigan's on the west.
Well, you have 3 there, don't you? Because Lake Erie's at the bottom, and then I think Superior's up there.
It doesn't Michigan touch 4 of the Great Lakes, or is it just?
I don't know.
It only 3?
Fucking pay attention.
But anyway, it's not like they're going to have battleships running across the Great Lakes to each other. So it always made me. Huron is the other one. Okay. It always made me curious. Like, why did you pick here? I mean, you could take off from Lake Michigan, I guess, and go to the top of Lake Michigan.
Yeah, because Erie's at the top of Ohio, and then in the thumb of the glove is Huron. Superior touches the upper peninsula, and Lake Michigan is the one that goes down the west side.
All down the west, yeah.
Yeah.
So, see, I was right. It touches 4 of the 5. I only learned that about 2 weeks ago, Jack.
Yeah, I like how our entire audience is like, you guys are fucking stupid.
This is shit I will never need to know. I'm not going on Jeopardy.
No, you're going to get lost in Lake Huron. You're going to call it Superior, and they're going to be looking for you in the completely wrong lake, because that would be my luck.
Oh, yeah. I don't go to the lakes, man. I've been in Lake Michigan. Lake Michigan's cold as fuck.
Yeah, Lake Michigan sucks. It's probably because Chicago touches it.
I like swimming in oceans, and oceans, even if you get into them when they're cold, they're not as cold as the Great Lakes, man. God damn. Underwater tunnels, Monk. Everyone knows, but you apparently. Do they go under the whole state? That would be
Probably.
awesome.
That would be pretty awesome. Thank you, John, who says, Jack, you are perfect. Unlike that not Jack, no enjoy the love dungeon. Yeah, well, love dungeons are a sign of intelligence, I think.
You live in Michigan, Monkey? I do, but I don't have to know anything about this state. I don't know shit about this state.
Especially the Upper Peninsula, which is basically just Wisconsin's dong.
Look, the Upper Peninsula is either Wisconsin or Canada. I don't care which, but it is not part of Michigan. It's clearly not part.
Do they even have like real cities in Upper?
Oh, yeah, yeah. I mean, they're not like huge, but like there's the Sioux up there, Sault Ste. Marie.
Yeah, I've been to Sault Ste. Marie. That's not a real city. That's Canada infiltration station.
What's the other one? What's the one on the because the Sioux is on the west side, right? Or the east side, right? What's the one on the west side?
Is that Manquette?
Marquette?
Oh, Marquette? I don't know. I've seen it on a map. I don't know what it is.
I love watching people try to read names from Michigan. Scribe trying to say Sault Ste. Marie is one of the funniest things I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah.
It's not spelled like Sault Ste. Marie.
Oh, no.
Mackinac is the one that everybody gets wrong. It's actually spelled or pronounced Mackinac.
Yeah, well, isn't there a Mackinac Bridge and a Mackinac Bridge?
No. It's Mackinac.
Are they both Mackinac?
There's only one bridge.
No, there's two in my brain.
There's the Mackinac Bridge. There's Mackinac Island. There's Mackinac Island Fudge, which is a great ice cream you can get.
That sounds like some weird prison sex stuff. Mackinac Fudge. Give them the Mackinac Fudge, fellas.
Yeah, yes, they're both Mackinac. Is there a second bridge? I didn't know there was a second bridge.
I think there's two bridges.
Well, yeah, they're all Mackinac.
I don't know.
We have the weirdest fucking names up here, and I realize like they went with the Indian names. Like, well, then the Indians can't pronounce shit because that says Mackinac. It clearly says Mackinac.
Yeah, well, you get into like the Frenchy names, and then like you have the Indian names too, and that throws people off because you're not used to either one really in the U.S. I think Louisiana has a similar problem with some of their stuff, and they have everything in parishes too, just to confuse you further.
Love the military, but when they came to recruit my autistic son, I was no. I mean, that's fair. I do think the military, especially if they went not today, because today they're just going to. It's become the same thing as everywhere else. Like, I don't want to do that. I'm having my period. You're a guy. Not anymore. I'm not. Oh, all right. Well, fix it tomorrow.
I'm wondering how bad things have to get before we start seeing pushback on this shit.
You need somebody you need a chairman of the Joint Chiefs. You need the commanders of each of the 4 branches. You need them all to be like, no, we're going back to training people because we're putting them in positions where they're likely to die, and we want to reduce that chance as much as possible. And I don't think you're going to get that unless we take an ass whipping somewhere because of them being ridiculously underprepared. And that's sad because it's going to get a lot of people killed. But they'll feel good about themselves when they die.
Well, I was thinking we'd probably have to lose some major military battles and probably have some major catastrophe like a Pearl Harbor level event before any of this changes.
I have a feeling that even with a Pearl Harbor level event, it's not going to change anything. It's going to have to be us losing horribly. Not losing like Vietnam, not losing like Afghanistan, because in both of those cases, we kicked the shit out of the enemy. We actually did. It was the political propositions that made it wrong, because you can't go to war not to win. You have to go to war to win. And to win means to take over that place and make it how you want it. And
Yeah.
we weren't willing to do that in any conflict since World War II.
Yeah, well, the politicians get involved and start making that's why Vietnam was such a clusterfuck.
Yep.
They came in and said, "Go grab this hill." Okay, now fall back because we're negotiating over there. Okay, go retake it because we changed our minds. You
Yeah.
can't win wars that way.
If you look at the casualty ratio, it's ridiculous, and the kill ratio is like something like 25-1. For every one American that was killed, 25 Vietnamese were.
Yeah,
We kicked the shit out of them militarily.
yeah, but that when you have indecisive leadership, it doesn't matter how good you are at killing because you're constantly getting contradictory commands that are often to your own detriment.
And right now, just for pure superiority of weapons and equipment, we can take on most people and still probably do very well.
Well, to be fair, the Ukrainian army could do that because they have most of our equipment at this point.
That's fair enough, and we're seeing it. Look, if it wasn't for our equipment, they'd be gone already.
Yeah,
I've seen the stories like, oh, they're blowing up Kiev on a daily basis. Like, what happened to all that winning? Where'd all that winning go?
Do you think maybe that happens in, I don't know, a fucking war? You idiots!
We tried telling them, like, look, the Russians can just sit back and fire cruise missiles the way we do.
Yeah.
Dark Resurrect, thank you so much for that. Feminist, $12. To have these fucks even entertain this idea would take the loss of a major field battle and tens of thousands of military deaths. Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, that's my concern is they're going to get a lot of our people killed, either civilians or military or both, probably both. And it'll take them a while to change because they're slow to change in the government. And we have so much bureaucracy that it might be too late for that. That's what I would worry about. Real quick. Thank you, Keldrig. I'm definitely on board for just conquering the countries we go to war in. This aversion to actually winning wars has cost more lives than it's saved.
Yes.
I agree. Just be like, look, you're going to join us and this is how we do things. It's called freedom, bitches. We used to promote it. You're now an annexed state. Welcome aboard. You're our 51st state, Iraq.
How long was World War II? What, 7 years? If you figure the start around 1938, it ends in 1945.
Yeah, roughly.
Yeah, so about 7 years. How long was Vietnam?
2 decades. Well, we got in the 60s. It was going on before that. And then we pulled out in 77.
Yeah, the French pulled us into that stupid shit. Never forget that. Yeah, and we couldn't beat the Vietnamese. And why? Because we were trying to be like, we're not going to go past this. We did the same thing with Korea. We're not going past here. Bullshit. If you're going to war, you need to be willing to win the war. And winning the war is not just, okay, we're not going to go past that line, okay? No, it's get the fuck out. You fucked up to the point we're willing to kill you. Get out. We are redoing this shit.
Yeah, well, that's why Afghanistan was such a fuckhole because we didn't go in there to defeat them. We went in there to like nation build and hug people. No, you go in there and be like, look, you can either knock this shit off or we're going to kill you. That's the rules. You either quit or we're going to kill you. And you either conquer it and take the land and say, okay, you're part of our country now. You're going to do what we tell you. Or you salt the earth and destroy it and level it and say, that's what happens when you fuck with us. Now we're leaving and it's a free-for-all. Deal with it. Let other people pick up those pieces. Those are the only two options is conquest and completely wiping them off the face of the earth.
Yep. And if you're not willing to do that, you shouldn't be trying to go into other people's countries like that.
Yeah, because the people that see you trying to do this softball shit are just going to see it as weakness. And that includes the people you just defeated and everybody in the surrounding area. They're going to be like, they're weak. They're not there to win. And my concern is that you're going to see our military being so soft and exposing our underbellies so much with all these stupid problems and policies that somebody's going to get bold and sneak some terrorists over the southern border, and we're going to end up with a goddamn dirty bomb or something in a major city. And it won't be that hard to do at this point. They've already caught Yemeni people, Iranians, Russians, Ukrainians, and Venezuelans all sneaking into our country. It won't be that hard for them to sneak in some really scary stuff, whether it's ricin or a nuke, and detonate it in a major city. And I mean, even an EMP, which is easy to make, they get a van-sized EMP in there, and you take out a bunch of city blocks, you're gonna have mass fucking chaos, especially in a border city where there's already an influx of invaders, I mean refugees, and high crime. So you're gonna have a complete catastrophe, and we do not have people that are prepared to handle any of that. We might have plans in place in a book somewhere, but we don't have people that are mentally prepared to fight asymmetrical warfare like that.
We don't have people right now who are prepared for regular warfare, to be honest. I mean,
Yeah,
look at what we've seen these generals and colonels getting involved in with social justice bullshit from their office. No, remember that one guy who made the video from his office?
Yeah.
I mean, this is what they're concerned with. That fucking ad for recruitment. Like, I went to gay pride parades when I was a kid, and it made me understand how everybody feels. You're supposed to be a killing machine. That's your job. Your job is to be like, that's the enemy. I don't need to think about, how he feels or what his pronouns are. Either he has to die or I do.
Yeah, you have to. Limbaugh said it best. The military is there to kill people and break things.
Yep.
They're not there for humanitarian hugs and kisses. I'm sorry. No,
not their
if
job.
you want to rescue some of our people and take care of them, fine. But that's what they're there for, is to protect American interests. And right now we are not doing that anymore. We're conditioning them to have like feelings and hugs and kisses over learning how to kill bad guys.
Yep. But on that, we are going to wrap up, Jack. I want to try to get a game stream done before the house starts waking up. So
yeah, sorry about that rambling tangent I just went on.
No, you're fine. I just wasn't able to do much of a game stream last night because the main satellite, and I went out and looked this morning. It wasn't working. It was like giving me 0 instead of even low numbers. The thing was just coated. We got a really nasty wet snow, and it just coated it. Usually it just slinks right off of it. So I did it on the Starlink for about half an hour to test it to see how it would be with that. And it wasn't horrible. It just wasn't great either.
Yeah.
So I didn't get to play 7 Days last night. We just played some Bloons Tower Defense 6, which is a fun game. But I really want to get in there and build this base that I'm working on. So hopefully the satellite will be working. If it's not, guys, well, there's nothing I can do. Johnny, it's your birthday. This one's for you, my friend. And a 1 and a 2. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday,
dear Johnny Blaze.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Johnny. I hope you have a great one. I really, really do.
Absolutely. Enjoy your 30s, dude.
Yeah, no doubt. Great decade. Great decade. What else was that? Oh, thank you guys for watching. Thank you so very much for the donations. You guys are really kind to us, and we really, really do appreciate it. Jack, anything you want to show out?
I'll shill out the Give Send Go for Moonshock. He's trying to raise a little bit of money to help him with expenses while he goes through some cancer scare. Looks like it might be a bit of a rough one. So if you can help out, consider donating to him. Also, thank you, Evolved Potato. If you want a military that gives hugs and kisses, go to the UN. They'll only hug and kiss underage people without consent, and they'll do a lot more hug and kiss. The UN supports child sex slavery, just so you know. Oh yeah, I wouldn't trust the UN peacekeepers to do anything except naughty shit.
Well, there was that report that came out, and they were doing some gross shit to kids.
Yeah, they're disgusting. Well, they're drawing from some pretty low-level places anyway.
True.
But thank you all so much for the donations and all the support you give us. It is greatly appreciated.
Twitch.tv/ranting monkey. Hopefully I'll be over there in just a little bit. I could not get to the satellite to clean it off, so I'm hoping the sun took care of it. I didn't look when I got home. We'll see what happens. If not, sorry guys, we'll have to do it tomorrow. Anything else? Go vote no. The Twitter poll's probably almost over, but go vote no so that 9/11 doesn't happen to the quartering. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching. Jack, a pleasure as always.
Always glad to be here.
Everyone, have a good night. We'll see you next time.
Bye, everybody.
Jeremy, stop making videos when you're drunk. Yes, it's funny, but it's dumber than you thunk. That's a real word.